Hello, Year 9. Welcome to our lesson here. Today, we're going to look at creating a character. As you know, and I've said before, the second part of paper 2, when you get to your GCSE, is all creative writing. So the better we can get at this type of thing, the better. So the better it is. So the best thing, or what I need you to do now, is to write a title, creating a character, and you're going to need your exercise book and a pen. So go away and get those, write them the title into your book, and then come back and we'll go to the next slide. Hello again. Well, don't that title at the top. You've got creating a character as your title, so don't worry about that. Do now is less complicated than it looks, but one of the principles or one of the main things in creative writing is that every character should want or need something. Characters don't come alive if they don't want something, or even better, need something. And I want you to decide what each person in this picture wants. Now, don't imagine that there's an answer there that's correct. It's up to you to decide what they might want. You know, imagine you're going to put these characters into a story. You decide what they might want. They could want anything. They could want peace on earth. They could want a new bicycle. They could want to be millionaires. They could want to save the world. You've got to have something that drives them. So it's just an exercise in thinking. There's no right answer to this. It's just up to you to decide what. Write a quick line for each one of these characters. You decide what it is that they want. And here we are. These aren't right or wrong answers. These yours are equally valid. These are just what I thought these people might want. There we are. I want my children to stop nagging me to be sensible. I want to stop my parents arguing. I want to set up my own company. I want to study hard to get to university. But I'm sure all of the things that you said are equally valid. It's not a right or wrong situation. It's just important to know that when we make a character, they have to want something. Motivation. Just listen now to what I'm going to read this to you, then explain to you what it means. Every character should want something. We've been over that. This is important because it drives the whole story. Some characters want big things like freedom or revenge. Others want smaller things like getting a new bike or seeing an old friend. We sometimes call this a character's motivation. So motivation is simply another word for what it is that they want, what it is that's driving them. It is important because it is much easier to care about a character who wants something than a character who already has everything they need. I mean, a classic example, and you may have seen this, and it is a film, Taken, with Liam Neeson. Right at the start, his daughter gets kidnapped, and you know what he wants is to get his daughter back, and that drives the whole film, doesn't it? It would be nothing without it. That's quite an extreme example of a character wanting something and being motivated by it. That's all you need to know. Don't worry about that task at the bottom. Just bear that in mind. And all you really need to know is that characters need to want something because it drives the story. Now, I want you to pick one of these images, and I know you probably recognize them, but again, you're not answering questions. You are deciding what it is that you're creating a character now. So you need to think about your character. What are they interested in? What is their history? You don't have to go into great detail. Just say they come from a poor background, or they come from a rich background, or something like that. What is their character flaw? And a flaw is for want of a better way of putting it, something that's wrong with a character. You know, maybe they're greedy, maybe they're lazy, um, you know, something like that. What do they love? Could be football, could be their partner, could be their dog. What do they want? That's an absolutely key one. Why do they want it? What are they afraid of? That's always a key thing with a character. What are they scared of? What is their personality type? Are they aggressive? Are they friendly? So you're creating a character now. So if you don't want to use those images, don't. You're just looking at them for a bit of inspiration. I guess it might be slightly off-putting if you know who they are. So just write character at the top of your page. What are they interested in? Then you decide what your character is interested in. And then write what's their history. And then you write down a brief bit of history, you know, poor background, single parent, rich background, single parent, poor background, won a scholarship. You know, it's up to you. Something short. All right, so 15 minutes on that year 9. You're going to use this information for the task at the end of the lesson. Now, conflict. Now, we've established that characters need to want something. So, you know, going back to the Liam Neeson example, you know, he wants to find his daughter, but he comes into a lot of conflict, doesn't he? Things keep stopping him find his daughter, and that's where the action comes from, and that's the purpose that conflict serves in a story. You see how straightforward it is to write a story. You've got a character who wants something, who we know a bit more about now. And then things come between him or her and what it is that they want, and you know, bang, you've got a story. So a conflict in a story is a problem the main character needs to solve to achieve their goal. Without conflict, there is no story and no character development. I want you just to copy what that bit there, a conflict in a story, copy that into your book. That's very important. Now, here's an example of our character, how a character is driven by something they want, which causes conflict, which drives the story. So here's a woman from a picture at the beginning. Her daughter wanted, you know, they said stop misbehaving, but really they wanted to stop smoking. Her daughter hides the cigarettes before her mother can find them, that should say. The mother retaliates by making life difficult for her daughter until her daughter stops hiding her cigarettes, and eventually she gets another family on side, another family member to help her. Right, so there you got your desire, and then you've got you know, the character wants something, cigarettes. The conflict comes into conflict with the daughter, and it drives the story on because the mother tries to get another family involved on her side. Not under your character profile that you did at the start of the lesson, and all that is the list. You know, you've got your character and the list of things that they want, you know, personality types and so on. I want you to add a conflict, something that gets in the way of what they want, and then add 3 different ways to resolve that conflict. Now, here's the part that you're going to write for the rest of the lesson, the last 20 minutes, and you're going to upload it to ClassCharts for me. You're going to do a diary entry, and you're going to imagine you are your character. The character that you developed as a profile earlier on is going to be you. So you're going to be writing in the first person, I this, I that. And therefore, all the answers to the questions on the character profile slide apply to you. So now, bearing that in mind, so you're getting into character, and all good writing is very closely related to acting. So you have to get into the characters if you're going to write them successfully. So adopt the persona of that character. It's not you, it's that character that you developed earlier in the lesson. And then write a diary entry explaining what you want in life, what is getting in the way of you achieving it, and how you're going to resolve it. And that's the part that I want you to upload to ClassCharts, and I'm very much looking forward to reading those Year 9. So good luck with that, and I will speak to you. We've got a reading lesson tomorrow, so I won't be speaking to you. I'll speak to you next week. Have a lovely weekend.